Greetings and welcome to your Oracle message for the day. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. This is a collective reading and it is timeless, so whenever you come across this video, however you come across it, it's the right time for you to be getting this message. And we've been pulling one card randomly every morning from our mega deck. You can look down in the description below for more information on the mega deck and how that was put together. But today's card is pulled from the Earth Magic Oracle deck by Stephen Farmer. And this is an unnumbered deck, so there's no numbers on these cards, but it is the card of Gaia, representing nurturing. And before we go in the book, and we will look in the book and find out what the reading says for us today, I haven't looked at it yet. You and I will go through that in just a few minutes together for the first time, unless you've got this deck too and you know this and you've taken a sneak peek already, in which case don't tell anybody, don't say anything, no spoilers here. So in any event, if you're new here to the channel, please feel welcome in this space. The only thing you're ever going to hear is love and encouragement and support as we're all doing our best to live our most authentic lives and be our most authentic selves. And this is not going to be a super long reading. We know who Gaia is. We don't need any background information on Gaia. Gaia is Earth. It is our planet. It is where we live. And it is constantly nurturing us, whether we are acknowledging it or not, whether we're paying attention to it or not. Look at this beautiful, beautiful image. Gaia, we know as the mother. She is constantly providing nourishment and support and nurturing to everything on this planet. So even the beings that aren't aware of her, they are the ones that live closest in sync with her. And we've had several readings recently about reconnecting with nature, reconnecting with the planet, with Gaia. So it's no surprise that this card came up now in the reading. This is just another confirmation that while we're all busily doing our things, working on ascension and moving into the 4D, 5D reality out of the 3D is Gaia, we do not want to dismiss our planet. We do not want to dismiss that entity, this entity that we are sharing space with. It is not a good idea to dismiss Gaia, because when you're not paying attention and you're doing things that are causing harm, nature will react. And it's not out of meanness or nastiness or anything like that. It's just because we know that there has to be balance and harmony. So if we're putting a lot of pollutants into the water and the air, we're going to have a result that comes from that. And if we don't like the quality of our air and we don't like wandering around with masks on our faces just to be able to breathe, maybe we should do something about what we're putting into the air. And the same thing goes with our water. You know, we put so much chemicals into the water treatments, and when you have water coming out of your tap, at least here in the United States, for most of the communities here, the first thing you'll smell is chlorine. Woo! Lots of chlorine in that water. And chlorine is a poison. Chlorine is really bad for humans, as well as everything that's alive. If you want to kill something, pour bleach on it, right? We use bleach to disinfect things. There's a reason for that, because it is extremely caustic. So, good example is our water. I drink filtered water. It's not a really fancy filter, but it removes chlorine. And because I love my body and I love the planet and I want to do things that are benefiting them both. So that's what we are being reminded with this card, is to be mindful of what we are doing to this planet, because it's the only planet we've got. Even though, you know, we've been exploring, we've gone to the moon and we've sent, you know, little droids, robots to Mars, you know, we don't have any other options still yet. So, you know, this whole thing about, oh, you know, this is a disposable place, it is not. Being mindful of things like trash, where you're putting your trash, you know, don't throw trash on the ground, that kind of thing. So just be mindful. This beautiful image, see how she's got all of this abundant creative energy flowing from behind her. That's not because it's coming from separately from her. It's just all of the energy that's following in her wake. But what she's doing is, you can see down below, it's like rocky landscape, and her hands are very gently orchestrating energy to bring green, to bring life, to bring food and water to all of the beings that are sharing that particular little space right there. And that's the energy that we're working with. Gaia can be a nurturing, amazing energy of abundance and nurturing. Yes, that's the only word, that's the best word for it, where you're not just providing, sustenance, where you're actually encouraging beneficial expansion. So, because Gaia is always encouraging the plants to grow, the animals to grow, them to be successful and prosperous in their own little animal and plant ways. And obviously the same applies for human beings. The only sentient beings that we're aware of that are capable of creating harm as well as benefit to our environment. So let's take a look at the book and find out what it says for us. For our card for today, for Gaia, representing nurturing, Earth Mother, Mother Goddess, Great Goddess, Terra Mater, and Gaia. In the Greek pantheon, this magnificent being was Earth personified as a goddess. Daughter of chaos, she is the mother and wife of Uranus in heaven, which represents heaven. It is her body that we walk upon every day, and the substance of our own bodies is the substance of hers. It's from Gaia that we receive everything we need for survival, which she provides for us abundantly, nurturing our bodies, minds, and souls. She nurtures our bodies by offering the fruit of the trees, the greens from the earth, and the air that we breathe. She nurtures our minds through her awesome physical and dynamic beauty, and as depicted in this card, by the amazing colorfulness and diversity of the world that she's constantly creating and recreating. She nurtures our souls by caressing us with her blessings each and every day, and by challenging us to be better humans through her response to our attentions and intentions. Receiving can be a sacred act if your intention is to honor spirit. It is as holy as giving when performed with a humble and open heart. This is even more true when receiving much needed nurturing. So let others give to you. It may be a stretch to do so at times because of childhood conditioning, but that habit can be overcome. Your wounds can be healed. One way to achieve this is to nurture yourself and allow others to nurture you. Consider the actions you take that are self-nurturing. What comes to mind when you really think about doing beneficial things for yourself? Set aside your ritualized habits and beliefs that restrict the pure act of allowing your body, heart, and soul to be nurtured. Lie down upon the earth and ask Gaia to rock you in her bosom as you breathe with her and relax into her loving care. What a beautiful, beautiful reading. What a beautiful message. Your wounds can be healed. Your wounds are being healed as you allow them to be, as you intend them to be through your intention. One way to achieve this is to nurture yourself and allow others to nurture you. We are conditioned, programmed from when we are small. It's better to give than receive. That message is pounded into us from the Bible. That's just one piece of that whole picture of that story and taken completely out of context. So I recommend going back and looking at that particular scripture and the other ones around it if you are interested in doing that, but we need to be treating ourselves as we would be treating others. And like I said, we just had a reading not too long ago about that specifically, but consider the actions that you take that are self-nurturing. And a lot of times when we hear the term self-care, we think of Amazon ads, where a bunch of things pop up in our feed for, bath salts and lotions and I don't know how do men how do you guys how do you do self-nurturing, because everything that I've seen is really kind of dialed into and focused at women specifically, at least again in the United States, and advertising for that kind of stuff. What I've seen online specifically, I don't own a television so I don't actually watch TV, and I don't have cable, so I don't know cable stuff, but I know online stuff, and I know what I see online, and I have very rarely seen things that are geared towards men, but things like going and getting a massage or getting, mani-pedis or whatever. That's not actually, I mean, those are things that can help with self-care, but that's not actually self-care. Self-care is things that are going to actually bring you immediate physical, mental, emotional, spiritual benefit right at that time. And that's not, doesn't mean, buying a new home spa or buying a new, home exercise equipment kind of thing. It means getting enough sleep, making sure that you have good sleep hygiene, good going to bed hygiene. It's not just about brushing your teeth and washing your face before you go to bed. It's about what time are you going to bed? How are you going to bed? Are you going to bed with a whole bunch of stuff in your head from things that you were looking at online 60 seconds ago? Did you take time to maybe meditate before you went to bed, or at least have some breathing time that didn't involve screen time? That's a good example of nurturing. That is something you need to be doing every day, that costs zero money, that requires zero anything from you except you doing the thing. The same thing, water. Most of us have easy access to water. Are you drinking enough water? Are you maybe paying attention to the sugary stuff, the salty stuff, the processed stuff that you are consuming physically? That's self-care, honey. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about Gaia and nurturing. We're talking about the things that actually physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually bring us physical health, mental health, those health, bring us benefits specifically. In terms of like spiritual, do you spend as much time, at least, if not more, equal time with what you're consuming in online stuff, reading, watching television, whatever? Is it positive, helpful, encouraging, uplifting, motivating, self-improvement stuff, spiritual stuff? Is it new skills, new information? You taking a French class, whatever. That's nurturing. That's self-care. When you are bringing more experiences that are benefiting your mind, which benefits your body. Nothing is separate. Everything's all connected. And what you are doing to yourself, affects us all. So please love yourself. Please care for yourself. Please be nurturing to yourself. Treat yourself as you would treat others. That's the key that you want to be getting a hold of, is stop looking at things. We are geared to be givers and not receivers. It's difficult for us to accept a compliment, for us to accept a gift that's not, it's not our birthday, it's not our Christmas, it's not Christmas. Why is somebody giving us something? Like I said, a compliment, some helpful criticism, maybe something somebody says that doesn't sound nice at all, but it has some nugget of wisdom in it that's going to be helpful for you. That also is self-care and nurturing, where you are examining the input that's coming in and making very sure that it is geared towards benefiting you, which benefits the collective as a whole, benefiting the planet, benefiting Gaia. So lots of different pieces in this card, and like I said, it's not going to be a 25-minute reading, but it's still, I don't usually look at the timer until I'm getting close to being done. So thank you so much for joining us today. That is our reading for the day. Spend some time just examining. You don't have to go run out and do a whole bunch of stuff. Just be mindful today of what you are doing, how you are breathing. Are you taking time to fill your belly full of air, to release old stale air completely? Are you doing that maybe every now and then? Are you paying attention to how you're breathing, what you're eating and drinking, what you're thinking, how you're feeling? This is how you are reconnecting, because as soon as you start paying attention to that, you're connecting to your physical body, which is part of Gaia, because we are part of this organism, planetary organism. So everything you do to yourself is important. It makes a difference. So please love yourself. Please be kind to yourself. Please give yourself that opportunity to receive that self-care. I love you. Have the most amazing, fantastic day. Namaste and ciao for now.